Welcome to SmartAlec's lights behind the scenes. Yep, it's a pretty boring setup really. Simple tint tubes, a lot of cable ties. A lot of people ask me about the arches. All it is just strip cable tied onto PVC. And even the PVC, they're cable tied onto the star picks. Use a little bit of wire for extra reinforcement, but cable ties are pretty good. Get rid of them at the end of the season. And that goes all the way down there. Every single arch I cable tie each season. As you can see on this first one, I've actually got a data cable as well running over for the garland. The garland is the cheap crap from Cheapest Chips, but it's got pixels in it and they look bloody super. The tint tubes, or pixel tint tubes, I've also run a piece of, wire, just so kids can't try and steal the tubes. But touch wood, I haven't actually had any incidents with kids. They all seem to be enjoying the show. Up there I've got the framework that is bolted to the roof. It's just a PVC frame. I've got a spinner and my two dolphins. Another lot of cable ties to the roof guttering. As we go along, we've got my main control power system. On the left we have the P12R. We've got two 12-volt lines in there and a 5-volt. That's the 5-volt. It's not fused. A bit bad, but hey, that happens. Then I've got my waterproof plugs and all of that coming out the bottom. The mains cable, they run into this box. In here I've got the top timer, because the garland had white icicle lights in it, so I thought after the show they can be turned on just as while the show's ended, extra security lights. That's the main timer that controls 3 packs. All of these two are 12 volts, both 30 amps. This one 5 volts, 60 amps. Just a fairly simple setup. I've got 2 fans, one on each side, just to make sure that all the air gets taken out. I've got the P10 matrix up there. That's the one that I just had as a text sign only, because the P10 panels are actually stuffed. You can only do a very dark grade shade of green and purple, but it's an okay message board. Now, the old heart of the system where everything was stored. This year, it's changed. It's empty. Now I've just got the radio that does speaker outside, the FM transmitter, and right at the back I've got the FPP player. I'm playing on the first edition of the Raspberry Pi. Got a little wireless dongle there and the USB dongle that plays the whole show. Ethernet out, that goes all the way back to the front porch that we'll soon see. I've also used the garland along the front line, as well as the candy canes. The front yard next year is going to be changed from its current setup. We've got some different ideas. That's me SmartAlec sign. Just the SmartAlec lights. Now all the roof is run off the beagle bone, which is actually stored on the roof. Here's the second power and basically Ethernet control center. The bottom part on the left box is the power over Ethernet for the Arduinos and the BBB on the roof. It also does all the other network data points around the house, well, around the outside of the house for the show. There's currently a 5-port in there and an 8-port, both 1 gig ones. Then up in the top box, I've got 3 power supplies up there. No fans, but I do leave the door open. Everything is just using this basically auto car 50 to 60 amp cable, 6mm. It's about $3.50 a metre. But hey, I went all out this year and it paid off because I never had one single voltage drop. Then I've got the other P10 matrix sign. That's the one that does do all the pictures and all of that. Up there we've got the 2 Arduino wireless transmitters. They transmit to the 2 spinners. In the back of there's a little wireless receiver, and that does 1 universe of data just for them 2 spinners. On the old Mega Tree that will be going, I've got the old Ren64 controller that does control the tree, and then in the box on the actual tree is the 24 volt power supply that does the icicles and some of the other 24 volt items around the show. That's basically it. There's the other original P2 matrix that I made. Still works quite well. I still use it as part of the show. So basically, all up, I have 3 matrices. 2 along the front of the house and 2 along the back. 1 on the back. There's the one. There's the second one. There's my name, SmartAlec lights. And as you can see at the very end is the second matrix. Them 2 spinners are the ones that I programmed in Vixen to make the effect of a cross. I also did it with the spinner up on the roof. Also, you may get to see it from this angle. On the roof there is 2 pixel matrix frames, both 2 meters by about 1.8 meters high. That's doing the beagle bone, or controlling all of that, and it's also controlling the strips on the house, the dolphins, the spinner up all up there. Every object you see on the house, the beagle bone controls it. I just thought I'll have something separate this year. As I said, the yard is going to change, but I think I've got the perimeter look that I like at the moment. And the front arches. Again, they're just cable tied. Just all my strips just have the plugs either end, Some of them I need a power inject, like that one there. Just put my little Y power injection splitter, and that just runs off to the middle of the yard. From that power box, the main one there, it did run, because I do use a lot of power everywhere, a 12 volt cable all the way over to here, and that's how we get the power injection over to here. And then I've also got another one that runs all the way to the back, and it goes to the tree. Make things easy. I've just got these little connectors, just pull them apart, that's it. That's what I call power injection. Just one main feed, lots of DC plugs. Technically it would be better if it was fused, but it works. Everybody's to their own. They're the spiral trees, a normal star on DC star, because they are a normal DC RGB star. Here is a little board I had to use. It's a DC SSR for any Renard user, and it's got one of the pixel modules on it, but without the LED. That's just soldered in instead of the RJ45 plug. And we have a pixel signal controlling a dumb RGB object, and I've got one of them from each of the trees. Also, because my Tune 2 sign is also RGB, I also built one for that as well. That is the last of a dying breed of archers, built when I originally first started 5 years ago. This year was the last year. The other one died. Yeah, well, this one's about to die as well. They're that bad. Poor things. Ren 24 controller. Just a bit of a stormwater drain. Hey, it worked. And it has for all these years. Thing is, brittle wire over the years. It's not worth fixing it anymore. It's easier just to go the easy way, the pixel way. Get a PVC pipe, cable tie it to a star pick. Yep, it works. Another power injection. Yeah, cable tie it. It worked. Okay, I hope everybody had a good laugh at my show. I certainly do, producing it and running it. Okay, Merry Christmas.